Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because the Indianapolis Colts are about to shake the very foundation of the NFL. We are talking about a franchise at a crossroads, ready to pull the trigger on moves that will define the next decade of football in Indy. Sources are buzzing, the front office is plotting, and the rumors aren't just smoke, they are a raging fire. From a potential quarterback shakeup involving a former #1 pick to an aggressive pursuit of defensive royalty, everything is on the table. But before we break down this madness, I need you to smash that subscribe button. We are pushing for 1,000 subscribers, and we need you on this team right now.
Let's get straight to the headlines, because the noise coming out of Indianapolis is deafening. Sources are now indicating that the Colts have emerged as a prime destination for a former first overall draft pick. This is not just a casual inquiry, this is a strategic pivot. The report explicitly states that this potential move comes amidst growing uncertainties and genuine concerns regarding the stability of the quarterback position within the franchise. We are looking at a front office that is seemingly losing patience, or at the very least, hedging their bets against their current trajectory. When you hear about a team linked to a former #1 overall pick, it signals a desire for pedigree, for talent that was once considered the best in the world, and it suggests that the current experiment in the quarterback room is not yielding the results they anticipated. This is a massive indictment on the current state of affairs. You do not go shopping for a former top pick if you are completely sold on your current starter's development arc. Now, let me switch gears and tell you exactly what this means, because quite frankly, this is alarming. You drafted a quarterback to be the future. You invested high capital. You sold the fan base on patience. You sold them on development. And now we are hearing rumors about bringing in someone else's former golden boy? This screams desperation. It screams that the evaluation process is in turmoil. If you are the Indianapolis Colts, you cannot afford to be wrong twice. Bringing in a former first overall pick creates a quarterback controversy the second he walks into that building. It divides the locker room, it divides the fan base, but maybe, just maybe, that is exactly what this team needs. They need a fire lit under them. They need to know that jobs are not safe and that mediocrity will not be tolerated. This is the NFL, not a developmental league. If the current guy cannot get it done, if the stability is not there, then you have to make a move. But understand the risk. If you bring in this new arm and he fails too, you set this franchise back 5 years. The pressure is mounting, the clock is ticking, and the Colts are seemingly ready to blow up the blueprint to find an answer under center. This is a bold, dangerous game they are playing, and it tells me they are terrified of wasting this roster. The question you have to ask is whether this is a move of genius or a move of panic. Because when you start looking at other teams' cast-offs to save your franchise, you are walking a very thin line between salvation and disaster. This is a critical moment for the Colts' offensive identity.
Listen, the information we are dropping here is changing by the minute. You cannot afford to be left in the dark while the Colts rebuild this roster. Hit that subscribe button right now to stay ahead of the game. If the quarterback news wasn't enough to get your blood pumping, look at what is happening on the defensive side of the ball. Recent projections and insider reports are confirming that the Indianapolis Colts are preparing to focus heavily on signing a superstar pass rusher in the upcoming free agency window. The objective is crystal clear. The team is looking to strengthen the defensive line with a heavyweight name to drastically increase the pressure on opposing quarterbacks. We are talking about an elite, game-changing talent that demands a double team on every single snap. This is not about adding depth. This is about adding a cornerstone. The front office knows that in the modern NFL, if you cannot disturb the pocket, you cannot win championships. They are looking ahead, projecting the cap space, and identifying targets that can transform this defense from a solid unit into a feared one. The timeline suggests they want this impact ready to peak for the 2026 campaign, building a juggernaut that can dominate the trenches for years. But let's be real for a second. This is long overdue. For too long, we have watched the Colts rely on scheme over talent, hoping that hustle can replace dominance. It doesn't work that way. You need a closer. You need a guy who, when it is 3rd and long in the 4th quarter, can pin his ears back and ruin the quarterback's day. I don't care about good players. I want a superstar. I want a monster off the edge. The fact that they are finally prioritizing this tells me that Chris Ballard is waking up to the reality of the AFC. You have to go through Patrick Mahomes. You have to go through Josh Allen. You have to go through Joe Burrow. How do you stop those guys? You don't stop them with coverage alone. You stop them by putting them on their backs.
This is an aggressive, necessary shift in philosophy. They are admitting that what they have right now is not enough to contend for a Super Bowl. It is an admission of guilt, but it is also a step in the right direction. They are preparing to open the checkbook, and they better be ready to pay top dollar because elite pass rushers do not come cheap. This is a statement move. It says, we are done being passive. It says, we are coming for your quarterback. If they land this superstar, it changes the geometry of the entire defense. It makes the secondary better, it makes the linebackers faster, it is the domino that makes the entire defense fall into place. But they have to land the big fish. No more bargain bin shopping. Go get the superstar and let him eat.
Now let's tie this all together with the final piece of this explosive puzzle. Reports are now indicating that the Indianapolis Colts plan to be incredibly aggressive in the market to secure a veteran who has been selected to the All-Pro team. This is not just about talent, this is about leadership. The board is reportedly willing to invest heavily, and I mean heavily, to bring in proven, certified greatness to this locker room. We are talking about a player who has been there, done that, and has the gold jacket potential to prove it. This report suggests a shift towards a win-now mentality, moving away from the slow build approach of relying solely on the draft. They want a veteran presence that commands respect the moment he walks through the door. This connects directly to the other stories we have discussed. You bring in a former #1 pick QB, you bring in a superstar pass rusher, and now you add an all-pro veteran to steer the ship. This is a complete culture overhaul. But let me tell you why this matters more than anything else. You can have all the young talent in the world, but without a general on the field, you are lost. The Colts have been too nice, too quiet, and too young for too long. They need a dog. They need someone who will grab a teammate by the face mask and hold them accountable. Aggressively pursuing an all-pro veteran is the front office admitting that there is a void in leadership that the current roster cannot fill. It is a bold, beautiful move. It shows me that they are tired of losing close games. They are tired of moral victories. They want tangible results. When you pay for an all-pro, you are paying for a standard of excellence. You are paying for someone to teach these young guys how to be professionals. This is the domino effect I am talking about. Imagine an offense with a high pedigree QB, a defense with a superstar pass rusher, and a locker room led by an all-pro veteran. That is not a rebuilding team. That is a contender. That is a team that expects to win the AFC South. That is a team that expects to make a deep playoff run. The Colts are pushing their chips into the center of the table. They are done waiting for tomorrow. They are trying to seize today. And quite frankly, it is about time. The fans deserve this aggression. The city deserves this ambition. If they pull this off, if they land this trifecta of moves, watch out, because the Indianapolis Colts will no longer be the team you sleep on. They will be the team that keeps you up at night.
This is not just another offseason for the Indianapolis Colts. This is a referendum on the future of this organization. When you combine a potential quarterback pivot, a massive investment in the pass rush, and the aggressive pursuit of all-pro leadership, you are looking at a team refusing to accept mediocrity. Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen are putting their jobs on the line with these moves. They are telling you, the fans, that winning later is not an option. Winning now is the mandate. So I have to ask you, if the Colts bring in a former #1 pick to challenge for the starting job, does that signal the end of the current era? Or is it the spark this team needs? Let me know in the comments. We are this close to 1,000 subscribers, so join the family today.